WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow, you know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here alongside Ted Efa on the back. But we will be joined later by Lucas. Yes, he will be joining us over the phone. He is currently down at the MF Super Camp, down at the Monster Factory. And from what I was informed, he was given permission to kind of step off to the side and give us a call and have a chat with us during the second segment of the show to talk about some of the awesomeness that's going on down there. Learning from the likes of Kevin Kelly, longtime WWF and Ring of Honor and current New Japan commentator. So, I mean, that's somebody who I've been absorbing a lot from over the course of the weekend. As well as Bull James, who wrestled in WWE through NXT for a few years, and Bobby Horn, better known as Mo, from the Tag Team Champions Men on a Mission back in the mid-'90s, and also accompanying his now deceased partner, King Mabel, as he was Sir Mo back during that brief period in '95 after they kind of slowed up as a tag team. No, not that kind of Mo. I see you making the Three Stooges things there. No, Mo and Mabel, Men on a Mission, along with their manager, Oscar. They were very colorful back in late '93 and early '94. And, a lot of knowledge and a lot of fun that was had over the course of the first day. And it's looking to be more fun as we go along here. But he'll talk a little bit more about that. People coming in for the camp for the second of the 2 days here from all types of, all different parts of the country. I mean, people from Kentucky, from different parts of Texas, from Washington State. We had a crew that came down here from Quebec and Nova Scotia. So it's a pretty big deal as far as all the learning. So that'll be a lot of fun there, and certainly a lot of fun things to talk about here as well. Including this coming Monday, the celebration, well, they always use the anniversary in the wrong sense, but celebrating 25 years of Monday Night Raw. As it was on the 11th of this month, January 11th, that in 1993, that the program debuted, and they always talk about the longest-running weekly episodic, which I know I've borrowed from rather heavily in terms of this show being the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio. So, I mean, it's certainly not a bad catchphrase, but this coming Monday there will be a lot of names from the past who will be coming in, as Raw will be, in a sense, emanating from two different venues. They're going to be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and not too far from there, they're going to be where it all began at the Manhattan Center in New York City proper, and that was where the first Raw was 25 years ago, and all of the fun and nightmares associated with that. But I mean, some of the advertised legends and past talent set to appear this Monday to celebrate the 25 years. You've got Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Chris Jericho, Degeneration X, so Shawn Michaels and Triple H, presumably, and maybe some others from there as well. Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are going to be there to provide commentary, as they were the cornerstone of a good portion of those 25 years. I'd say at least 17, 18 of those 25 years, it was those two and maybe sometimes another person sprinkled in, but they were to Monday Night Raw in a lot of ways what Howard Cosell was to Monday Night Football, at least early on. So it's good that they're going to both be in attendance. Jacqueline, the Dudley Boys, Christian, Ric Flair, Maria Kanellis, Scott Hall, the Bella Twins, the New Age Outlaws, Eric Bischoff, who was very instrumental not only in Monday Night Raw once WCW went out of business, but of course leading the charge of the Monday Night Wars that helped build the popularity of Monday Night Raw when you had Raw and Nitro going head-to-head with one another on USA Network and TNT in the mid-'90s. So that'll be interesting. Terry Runnels, Ron Simmons, JBL, Kelly Kelly, The Godfather. Say what you will about The Godfather, but he certainly put Raw and WWF at the time on the map during the Attitude Era. He was one of those characters that was rather controversial considering his pimp-like character that he had. The Brooklyn Brawler, Michelle McCool, Brother Love, Bruce Pritchard, that should be interesting. The Boogeyman, Teddy Long, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, John Laurinaitis, Harvey Whippleman, Lillian Garcia, Jonathan Coachman, MVP, William Regal, and probably one of the most notable names of all is when you talk about history with WWE. I mean, he's been with them he just recently celebrated 41 years as their ring announcer, although he has taken much more of a step back in recent years, but Howard Finkel. Yeah, he debuted in January of 1977 for the then WWF. Yeah, going pre-World Wrestling Federation. That's how long he's been around. So, I mean, that should be a lot of fun, and I was going to say, I was debating between this week or next week of doing some classic Raw memories. I mean, because that could be a whole show unto itself, but next week we've got the big Royal Rumble weekend preview as everything's going to be coming here to Philadelphia for NXT TakeOver next Saturday, the Royal Rumble on Sunday the 28th, and then Raw in the Wells Fargo Center as well on Monday the 29th, and SmackDown on Tuesday the 30th. So 4 straight nights of wrestling at the Wells Fargo Center. So that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about next week, and we'll more than likely next week get all Royal Rumbled up, but we'll also sprinkle some Raw memories in there as well. Well, today is kind of interesting, as you may have heard on the news prior to us starting here. It was 1 year ago was the big inauguration for WWE Celebrity Wing Hall of Famer Donald J. Trump. And how ironic, I guess, that there might be potentially some more wrestling in politics, as the eyebrows of Ted Efaw go even higher than The Rock's back in the day. Yes, WWE legend Hulk Hogan is being urged to run for U.S. Senate in his home state of Florida by a former advisor to President Trump, Roger Stone, who he told PatrickSlevin.com that he is hoping to convince Hogan to run opposite Governor Rick Scott and, quote, body slam Scott in every debate. Hogan, however, had this to say when pressed about it by TMZ.
Roger Stone is a fan of yours and thinks you should make a run for the U.S. Senate. What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is, if I run, I will win. Brother, I don't want to run, okay? I have a great life here on the beach, you know. The only thing I'm going to make a run for is the world title again, if I ever do any running. But right now, I'm just hanging out on the beach having a blast.
Would you ever consider running for Senate in Florida?
Thought about it. I've had, as of late, people calling my phone, driving me crazy about running for Senate. They want me to run for governor. They want me to run for mayor. At the end of the day, I'm just so confused because it's like watching the politicians, the Democrats and the Republicans, it's like nobody wants to work together. It's like a wrestling match with 2 wrestlers that are supposed to work together and paint this beautiful wrestling picture. The Republicans and Democrats act like they hate each other and they don't want to do anything except create chaos. So I really don't want to be any part of that.
So is that a no?
That's a no, man. I don't want to get in the middle of that.
If you ran, what party?
Oh, listen to you. I would be a Republican.
You supported Barack Obama.
Well, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
But you would be a Republican.
I would be a Republican.
Is this a flat-out no that you would never consider running for Senate in Florida?
Right now, this moment, it's a flat-out no.
That's hedging.
Right now, this moment, it's a flat-out no.
Is it possible next month it could be maybe or yes?
It could be.
That sounds like you're not saying no.
I'm saying no in this moment. You know, the funny part is, I mean, after seeing, Donald Trump's fan base and watching what Jesse Ventura did, in the state of Florida, I mean, I got a feeling it wouldn't be that hard. I really do.
Well, there you go. Some interesting, poignant comments from the Hulkster. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll be seeing the yellow and red along with the red, white, and blue anytime soon, and having the campaigning, the Real American Party anytime soon. But hey, as we've seen, stranger things have happened. I mean, how many times? Hulk Hogan kind of jokingly went about this back in 2000, although there wasn't as much seriousness with it. I think there's a greater likelihood of him becoming world champion again, closing in on age 65 later this year, than there would be in the political realm. I think just because, and again, politics. I'm more about wrestling backstage politics than I am about the politics in DC. As I said, that's why we have this time slot Monday to Friday that better handles that than I can. But I don't know. I think a lot of us have already had our fill with the celebrity turned. I mean, we've seen it with Ronald Reagan. We see it now with Donald Trump. I mean, we've heard everything from The Rock to Hulk Hogan to Oprah. I don't know. I think it's more just publicity hype than it is an actual seriousness. But hey, I could be wrong. We'll find out probably over the course of the next year and see where things go from there. Now, one thing that Hulk Hogan did mention that he was looking for was to return to WWE, and he was talking to Dan Gelston of the Associated Press, saying, quote, "I don't know if they want me back. I think the fans want me back. I think that I'm part of that company from the ground up. Triple H, I know, is a huge fan of the guys that gave their blood, sweat, and tears and their personal life to make this happen. I know Triple H would love to see me back on the inside again." WWE, on the other hand, well, they weren't quite as keen. They issued a simple statement to Gelston regarding Hogan's status with the company. Quote, "At this time, WWE remains committed to its decision." Now, Hogan has pretty much been persona non grata from WWE ever since the whole scandal with Gawker, that website that released the Hulk Hogan sex tape. So ever since that whole fiasco and the $100 million plus lawsuit that's going on with that, they've distanced themselves from him, not quite to Chris Benoit level, but pretty close. And, well, yeah, we all know what Benoit, double murder, suicide. Yeah, okay, we can move on from that. And probably a good way to do that would be to go to the phones, where we've got Ed from Northeast Philly giving us a look at the local scene. Ed, what's going on?
Good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on, Ed?
We got Sasha Banks at Cricket Wireless on January 29th on 2900 North Broad Street for an autograph signing.
Yes, there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of different appearances over the course of the next week, as WWE is going to be, they're going to be here in Philly all next weekend. So I'm sure that that is one of many, to say the least.
Yeah, Philly has the Royal Rumble, Raw, SmackDown, and next NXT.
Yep, NXT TakeOver. It all starts 1 week from tonight with NXT TakeOver at the Wells Fargo Center. I'm fortunate enough that I will be in attendance for the Saturday NXT TakeOver and the Sunday the Royal Rumble, in kind of a web redemption from the disaster that was, Tosh.0 web redemption from the disaster that was 3 years ago than when I went. Not so much about the content, it was just more so the organization of a group of friends, and anything that could have gone wrong that night did. And probably the less that I say about that, the better. But I'm sure at some point Mike Sampson will come in here to to create all kinds of havoc and bring back bad memories of that night.
Not to mention the convention and House of Hardcore this Friday and Saturday at
yes.
the ECW Arena.
Yes, that's right. At the 2300 Arena, the Collector Fest is going to be going on. There's it's become a growing trend of a lot of companies. I don't necessarily say piggybacking off of, but it's kind of what it is. They're going where they know that the money's going. A lot of people are going to be flying in from all over the country and even different parts of the world to see the Royal Rumble. It's one of the big WWE. It's probably, in my opinion, the second biggest pay-per-view behind WrestleMania as far as overall fan interest. So with that much, that much buying power circulating here in the Philadelphia area, yeah, a lot of people are going to come into the area to try to get even a little piece of that. There's just so much going on, though. That's the thing. I mean, you mentioned the Collector Fest. You've got House of Hardcore. You've got wrestlers making appearances everywhere. You've got, I found out this not too long ago, but Jim Ross, who's been on the show a couple of times here, good old JR, he's going to be doing a show. Actually, there may be a very select few tickets left, but I'm not sure because I think there were only 100 available. But he's going to be doing kind of a one-man show thing. It's something new that he's doing, but it's at the Diamond Club of Citizens Bank Park at 12 noon on Royal Rumble Sunday. And I think it's $75, and it comes with a autographed copy of his, an autographed copy of his autobiography. That's what I'm trying to say, as well as a photo meet and greet type thing, and it's just a very intimate Q&A type session with just 100 people. And I mean, this is somebody who's been in the business over 40 years and has seen it all.
And they have Jake Roberts and I think Brother Love or Bruce Pritchard doing a comedy act.
Oh yeah, Bruce Pritchard's going to have his podcast at the Collector Fest, and yeah, Jake the Snake Roberts is set to be there. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I only know I have so much in the wallet to be able to see as much of it as I can.
Triple WA in Quakertown, 6:30 on the 27th of January at the Farmers Market. Tonight they have Game Changer Wrestling in New Jersey with Nick Gage, the Headhunters, Teddy Hart, and Homicide.
Oh, very nice. It's across the river over there. It shouldn't be too bad of a show.
At Game Changer World in Howell, New Jersey.
Oh, okay, yeah, Howell's. It's a little bit of a hike, but I mean that's what's great about this area. There's so much that goes on in the tri-state area. I mean, really, yeah. I mean, well, multiple tri-state areas. You have like the northern Jersey and northern Pennsylvania and New York type area, and then down here you've got the Philadelphia, South Jersey, and Delaware area. And between those two, there's a litany of different things going on.
And I'll probably be at the convention broadcasting or calling in live.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, I mean, no pressure to necessarily get. I mean, we've got so much, like I said, so much going on that weekend. It's going to be an absolute zoo. But
week off. I might take that week off.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to. No obligation to call in. We'll have plenty to talk about here, and we'll. I mean, as great as it would be to get down there. Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's so much that's going on, and so much of the logistics things here, and the last thing I want to do is cause any more graying of El Jefe Roberto's hair.
Well, you have to extend the show.
Well, I don't want to ruffle Ted Efaw's feathers either. Now,
Sorry, Teddy.
Yeah. See that they're trying to take your show here. It's like, come on, you're killing me here. No.
Sorry, Teddy.
Oh wow.
Pro is next weekend too, in Northeast Philly.
Oh, yeah, Chikara as well. I know there's so much of it. It's, even if I had a list, I'd forget a few things here. It'd be longer than Jericho's list of 1,004 holds, it feels like, from back in the Nitro days.
That's about it.
All righty. Well, I appreciate the look at the local scene. I'm up against it here, as I've got to let Lucas know to chime in here, as he'll be joining us in the second segment for a litany of different things to talk about. But as if all that stuff wasn't enough that we just mentioned in terms of the upcoming events, next week marks the first of 5 straight weeks of appearances and signings in 2018 at George's Cards and Collectibles, all at their Neshaminy Mall location. First, next Saturday, the 27th, from 3 until 5 p.m., WWE Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton, and joining him his brother Barry O, who also wrestled for the World Wrestling Federation and, respective father and uncle of Randy Orton, future Hall of Famer with WWE. Then on Sunday, February 4th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., former WWE diva Emma will be at George's Neshaminy Mall location. And then Saturday, February 10th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., former WWE star and guest here on Pro Wrestling Weekly, D'Lo Brown. Also, not too long ago, added, appearing on Saturday, February 17th, from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Neshaminy Mall Sports Cards and Collectibles Show. Former, WWE Hall of Famer, former tag team champion in the WWF days, and also brief interviewed guest here on the program as well, Tony Atlas, Mr. USA. And then appearing on Saturday, February 24th, former WWE star, the man with 2 hands and a chance, James Ellsworth. George's has 3 locations for all of your cards and collectibles needs. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing, and their newest location in the Oxford Valley Mall on the second level next to Starbucks. For more information, go to georgescollectibles.com and follow George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. Set to join us on the other side is Lucas, making his part-time contribution to the show. And I'm Fearon Derry. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Smiling Lou Powers, here to invite you to join us every Wednesday as we broadcast Sunshine Music Memories live from the Philadelphia Protestant home in the Northeast. We'll be playing the music that you remember in a setting you will love. Philadelphia Protestant home is located at 6500 Tabor Road in the Northeast, and I will be there live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. till noon. Come out and listen, dance, and make some new friends. Sunshine Music Memories live from the Philadelphia Protestant home every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Listen and watch live from the WBCB studios every Wednesday morning at 8:15 a.m. during Foxwell in the Morning to the Four Paws Doggy Daycare Adoptable Pet of the Week. Four Paws Doggy Daycare is located at 890 West Bridge Street at Snipes Farm in Morrisville, offering daycare, boarding, salon and spa, and training. See the pets available for adoption from area shelters video stream live at WBCB1490.com every Wednesday at 8:15 a.m. You could find your forever pet.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
There's a threat targeting America: Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, this dangerous disease can cause life-changing health problems and is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. So it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, and seeing a doctor if you experience the warning signs, which can include joint pain and flu-like symptoms. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org. Brought to you by the Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Foundation and this station.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
He's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, at least for the moment, flying solo. I'm sure we'll hear from Twitch at some point, as maybe he wasn't quite able to look at his phone right away to call in here, but I'm sure he will be shortly. If not, though, as I said, plenty of things to get into, and we'll go ahead and get right into those as we speak here. Some interesting notes from the Royal Rumble. Firstly, WWE has pulled Paige and Samoa Joe from their respective Royal Rumble matches. Paige's in-ring career, as we talked about last week, reportedly in jeopardy due to a neck injury. Meanwhile, Samoa Joe suffered a foot injury on last week's Raw. WWE simply citing a neck injury as the cause for Paige missing the match. They have yet to comment on a report that they will no longer clear her to wrestle in a WWE ring. Joe, meanwhile, though the company ran a story on the WWE website last week stating that he was believed to have suffered a plantar fascia rupture. Ouch. Kind of where you get that, plantar fasciitis or fasciitis or however you... that's why I don't pronounce all these medical things. I just kind of roll with it, I suppose. And as you saw this past week, or you may have missed it, but we have a new U.S. champion. Despite the finals being pushed for the Royal Rumble, this past Tuesday had the semifinals and finals of the tournament, with Bobby Roode beating Jinder Mahal in the finals. I would imagine, but I don't know for certain, that the rush was made in part due to the dual Royal Rumble matches taking place on the pay-per-view, and that match was hastened, likely for time constraints. At least I would certainly imagine that is the case. Looking at the Royal Rumble matchup and everything as far as the lineup of the pay-per-views, the respective ones. You've got the two 30 individual over-the-top rope Royal Rumbles. The men so far, 12 of the 30 participants have been announced. Elias, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, Rusev, Aiden English, Apollo Crews, and Titus O'Neil. And then for the women, 18 of the 30 have been announced. Naomi, Asuka, Ruby Riott, Natalya, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Carmella, Tamina, Lana, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mickie James, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke. So it's one of the big intrigues of the Royal Rumble is that surprise factor of who is... Well, who's going to make their appearance through that curtain? Will it be a legend making kind of a cameo, for lack of a better term? Will it be a name that has perhaps been out for a while due to injury? There's a lot of different, I guess. That's part of the intrigue. You never know who is going to be walking through that curtain as soon as the countdown hits 0, and. Well, that's all you can hope for in terms of anticipation. And then the matches that aren't Royal Rumble related, you've got looks like 5 other matches so far. Enzo Amore defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Cedric Alexander. Also, the Usos defending the SmackDown Tag Titles in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. And then there's AJ Styles in a 2-on-1 handicap match for the WWE Championship against both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Also, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan against Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Titles, and Brock Lesnar against Braun Strowman against Kane in a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. And joining us on the line, none other than Mr. Part-Time himself, Lucas Twitch DeSangro.
I wanted to make sure I at least made some sort of appearance on the show. I apologize. I'm currently here in Paulsboro, New Jersey at the MF Super Camp. Danny Cage, thankfully, was gracious enough to let me take a little bit of a break and call in. So, happy to be on the show.
That's good. The way you make it sounds like you're a guest more so than a co-host. Well, I guess given your part-time presence, I guess that may...
You're really nailing in this part-time thing, aren't you?
Well, I haven't played the drop yet.
It's only a matter of time, Fearon.
You mean it's only a matter of...
Part-time.
You just lobbed that one up for me.
Oh, wow. That was good. That was good.
I know it was. I did it. Anyway, so how have things been going down there at the camp in my absence today, as I've been doing BCB stuff up here?
Things have been going well. The Red Scorpion is being the Red Scorpion as always.
Oh goodness, I'm hesitant to talk to him about being a guest on the show, just because that would be one of the best and worst things. The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio, and the world's most dangerous arachnid coming head-to-head.
See, the thing is, I would love to do that interview as well. I think for the purpose of not just mine, out of just excitement and Scorpions, we might have to do a pre-recorded one, just because...
For the same reason that I would love to get Jay Hunter on here. I gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Not that I would do it blatantly, but with Scorpions, sometimes you just got to let it fly.
And he is certainly known to. So we'll have to make that work at some point here. But the litany of folks who have come in for the camps in general, but this one especially. Kevin Kelly working with people on promos, and Bobby Horn, for me completing the trifecta of men on a mission.
Yeah, as all heck.
Yeah, he is. He is absolutely fantastic. All three of them were. When we got to work with Oscar last year at the charity thing, and then of course when we had prior to his passing, Mabel or Nelson Frazier. I think it was before you were along here, but I got the chance to interview him before his passing.
I do remember listening to you in studio when
he did pass away. That's right. Yeah.
The camp, it's great. Bull James is here, formerly known as Bull Dempsey from NXT. I personally love getting to cut a promo in front of Kevin Kelly because, to be fair, my promos are a lot stronger than my in-ring, but it's always nice to get that extra little critique on how to make it that much better.
Oh, absolutely. And then we also had visiting yesterday somebody kind of another person crossing paths in wrestling and radio. Lauren Patisse, who she works at an FM radio station as an on-air personality in the Boston area. And so she's a wrestling ring announcer as well as a radio personality. I was going to say, I'll play safe and just, she's in the Boston area, so it's not like it's competing with anything here necessarily. But, there you go. If you want to check out Mix 104 in Boston, that's where she's at up there. And super cool personality. And I got the chance to, I love social media sometimes. I got the chance to... because she traveled all the way from Boston, she didn't have a vehicle, so I gave her a ride over to her first Wawa experience, which she was extremely excited about.
That's always a funny. I love Wawa. It's great, but it's always fun to see the people that either live out of state or have been out of state for a while, and they come back, and it's almost like when they get to Wawa, it's like when Cody Rhodes got into the Ring of Honor Final Battle for his first time. He just kissed the mat like he had just seen land after being stranded. It was I think a year or two ago when Mike Bennett was still on the Independents, or Mike Kanellis, I'm sorry.
You're used interchangeably.
And he and Bull James were talking about how much, when he gets in the area and he starts to see that red outline on the billboards and stuff, he's like, "Oh, I feel like I'm home." He's from Massachusetts, but they just love Wawa.
Yeah, I think it's that way with any kind of a regional thing. I was that way. I think I've talked about it on the air here, but in case I haven't, when I found out that they, thanks to the Blue Meanie of all people, that they put a Smokes Poutineery here in Philadelphia.
What? We have to go.
I was going to say, I could have swore I told you about that.
No, you didn't.
No?
You did not. No.
Wow, yeah, no, it's, I feel like I'm giving away free plugs here, but poutine, for those who aren't familiar, is a Canadian delicacy, which they have mostly franchises with all throughout Canada. I think like 94 different franchises, but this is now the only 7th in operation. Well, 8th total. One went out of business, but so 7th currently in operation here in the United States, and we have it here right in Philadelphia.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Go check that out on the 400 block of South Street in Philly. So there you go. There's their little bit of love for me here. It's but yes, poutine, for those who don't know, it's a Canadian delicacy. It's French fries topped with gravy and cheese curds. I know it is the absolute worst thing for a professional wrestler who's trying to maintain a sculpted body should be eating. But
no, I just love the fact that we're on. I already called in. I've only been on the air for about 7 minutes, and we've already flown off course. And we went from talking, busting my Mahoney's, to now it's a wrestling show, and we're talking about poutine and Wawa.
You know what? That's what makes this all things to all people, because you never know what direction the show's going to go.
Isn't the radio show great, Ron? Like, it's just amazing.
It most certainly. Well, I mean, we're talking regional thing. I mean, that's the thing. We're even though we are a Philadelphia-based radio station, we're hitting all points because people from all over the world listen. That's what's great about it, and something that you wouldn't have gotten. I was going to say it certainly didn't have that when the show started almost 19 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19. That's right. We're a few weeks away from celebrating 19 years on the air. That'll be coming up in mid-February, a few weeks away. I'll have to outreach to Eric Gargiulo to Loose Cannon, see if we can have a chat with him, or maybe.
Oh my gosh, I'm turning 20 in March.
Yes, you are. Yeah, that's.
Wow.
I know. What a difference 4.5 years has made for you here on the program, that you've gone from this.
Especially in my voice.
Yes, especially in the voice.
Mr. Derry?
Yeah, you're like, oh gosh, you're like, what was the middle Brady
like
child? Peter, right?
TV
Yeah, Peter Brady, like basically over the airwaves.
I feel like that in certain TV shows where like the first season, if there's a little kid on the show, and I guess because the pilot or the first season was taped years before, he's really little and maybe a little bit chubby, has like a squeaky voice, and then the next season, like, he sprouts up and all of a sudden he's got like a lot of bass's voice. I'm like
you're like half of that.
Yeah. I'm like the son from 2.5 Men, except not as crazy.
All commentators heard here on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not. No. In case Merrill didn't get that earlier, I'm kind of throwing that out there now. No, he did. That's right. We got in that first break there before he came on. So, so I was going to say, you'll be with us next week for the big Rumble preview. It's going to be an insane weekend.
Yes, I will. I will be there. As much as I would love to talk about it now, I do have to get back.
Yeah, you got to get back, and I got to hit a break. I know. It's the reality of the situation here. So I'll let you go. I'll be down there as soon as I wrap things up here, and we've got the Super Camp Showcase tonight, which I'll be providing commentary for, and you'll be you'll probably be in the Battle Royal, and I mean, who knows? We'll see about. I haven't found out what the rest of the card is, so we'll see.
I'm punching out. I'll see you.
All right, you punch out there, and no car crash in this case, and I don't know, an A reference as well. That's going to get somebody. I'm sure somebody's going to enjoy that. But yes, it is a little bit beyond that time for me to tell you about what I usually tell you at this time. In this case, it's going to be an interesting night, and I'm giving you a heads up about it at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Now until 2 o'clock, you can get Bloody Mary flights to help get through the weekend. And tonight, Reese has another fun night of bar-wide heads-up planned. So come pull your face out of your phone and win some prizes, too. Plus, tomorrow it's Bloodies and Brews from noon until 5, and they're closing at 5 sharp due to a special Irregulars-only event, which, hey, not an irregular yet. There are some very few spots available. Check them out at Broken Goblet Brewing on Facebook, or head on over to there and see if you can sign up. A lot of great benefits to being an irregular member. It's definitely on like Donkey Kong. Also, make sure to enjoy some of the great brews back on tap, including the 2017 version of Bubba's Tea Bag. Get that before it's gone. More about that in a minute. The powerful Carl the Great Russian Imperial Stout and Gyroscopes and Infrared IPA. And just announced earlier this morning. That's right. I just found out about this and didn't even get to put it on my live read yet. So we're kind of flying off the cuff a little bit here to, again, for the sake of full honesty, because that's what I like to do with everybody here. But you can come join the Broken Goblet actually 2 weeks from today on Saturday, February 3rd for T-Cision 2018. That's right. Come join the Goblet for a bipartisan process where the only party that counts is the one happening at your table. It's Broken Goblet's 4th annual T-Cision, and it's a voting event not to miss. Just like the last 3 years, they put the final selection of this year's version of Bubba's Tea Bag, their most iconic brew, in your hands. $3 gets you 3 4-ounce samples and 1 important ticket, where you'll sample the 3 versions and cast your vote in the Tubes of Destiny. I'll have to put reverb in that later. On the stage there, they will tally the votes after the kegs kick and announce the winner that night, and that will be the new 2018 version of Bubba's Tea Bag. And this year they are partnering with an old music biz friend's new tea business, Brutalities. Great name, even greater names for their teas. So they encourage you to choose wisely when thinking about an all-year variety. The flavors for selection will be announced a few days before, and Nick's Roast Beef will be serving up the grub as they do always. Just a few reasons why it's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Please enjoy responsibly. Coming back with more stuff. We got Today in Wrestling History, the birthdays, news, notes, and who knows what other hilarity and hijinks here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Did you know 40% of Pennsylvania homes have elevated levels of radioactive radon gas? Testing is the only way to know if your home is at risk, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. First, buy a test kit from your local hardware store. Run the test in your home following the package instructions. Act on your results if they're high. Contact a certified radon mitigation company for help. For more information, go to dep.pa.gov/radon. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Philadelphia Protestant Home is a premier senior living community that offers affordable, quality, independent living, personal care, skilled nursing, and rehabilitation. PPH is located on a beautiful, serene campus within minutes of Bucks County and features a variety of on-site amenities for active lifestyles. Elegant dining services, ice cream parlor, indoor pool and wellness center, bowling alley, computer learning center, greenhouse, bank, market, and coming soon, a pharmacy. Call now to schedule a tour, 215-697-8000, or visit us on the web at pphfamily.org. At PPH, we're family.
Hey, this is Bill Clement, and I'm hoping you can join me this and every Wednesday night, 6 to 7 p.m., live from Chickies and Pete's as Independence Blue Cross presents Bill Clement's Hockey World. I think that's me. So it's right here on 1490 WBCB on Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m., 610 a.m. Sports. You can also watch the show at WBCBSports.com.
The Philly Auto Show is back January 27th through February 4th. Visit PhillyAutoShow.com. Sponsored by State Farm.
Hi, Merrill Reese, inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 to hear Head Games, a new must-listen-to show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athlete to perform at the highest levels of today's game. Athletes get in the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, January 20. On this date in 1997, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Chicago, Illinois. In the main event, Lex Luger defeated Stevie Ray. On this date in 2002, the WWF held its Royal Rumble pay-per-view. In the main event, Triple H won the 30-man Royal Rumble match. On this date in 2003, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Providence, Rhode Island. In the main event, Scott Steiner defeated Batista by disqualification. On this date in 2014, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Dayton, Ohio. In the main event, Randy Orton defeated Kofi Kingston by disqualification. This has been Today in Wrestling History, January 20.
This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart of the Hart Foundation, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry on 1490 WBCB, baby. Yeah!
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, flying solo for the last segment as, it's a very short segment, the way things have gone here, as we're here on this pre-25-year celebration of Monday Night Raw with quite a bit of news to get into in a pretty short period of time. So we're going to start to take it home here not a little bit early, but just slightly early, I suppose. WWE making a couple of notable signings to international talent, officially announcing the signing of Trevor Mann on Tuesday, who wrestled independently as Ricochet and also in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. WWE also announcing the signing of the War Machine tag team of Raymond Rowe and Hanson, who have been notable from New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. And WWE also having announced the signing of former Major League Baseball pitcher Rinku Singh. Wonder if Ted's familiar with that one. The Indian native won the $1 Million Arm reality show and signed a contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 2008. So, and he's only in his late 20s. I believe he's 29 years of age, so still time to make a professional wrestling career. Maybe he can be the Indian A.J. Przynski or something along those lines. Although he was a catcher as opposed to a pitcher. Also, some not-so-good news for one of the Usos. Jey Uso arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated this past Sunday in Hidalgo, Texas. He was released on a personal recognizance bond, according to the Hidalgo County Records website. Don't drink and drive. Don't be stupid. That's why we say drink responsibly when it comes to the broken goblet plug. Don't be stupid, I guess. I don't. Do as I say, and also as I do, but not Twitch does. Now, scary news from a former Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion, Sienna, announcing that she has blood clots in her lungs. She wrote on Twitter, quote, "I went to the hospital during taping suspecting a displaced rib or collapsed lung. Turns out that I have a blood clot in each lung. Yikes." She noted that she is not wrestling, but she is still making appearances. So hopefully a swift recovery for her on that. Also, this is a bit of a tasty story here, as PLB Sports has partnered with WWE to create and launch fruit snacks featuring WWE superstars called WWE Superstar Snacks. Made from real fruit juice and naturally fat-free, the fruit snacks are in the shape of the WWE logo and come in 6 flavors: cherry, apple, orange, strawberry, blue raspberry, and grape. The 10-count box will be available at Jewel Osco, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Woodman's Markets, FYE, and other fine retailers. WWE Superstar Snacks are also available at the recently redesigned PLBsports.com. And WWE superstars John Cena, Roman Reigns, Sasha Banks, AJ Styles, and Naomi are prominently featured on the box's front panel. Meanwhile, another note of an appearance, or I guess beginning of an appearance at the WWE Performance Center, American Ninja Warrior winner Casey Catanzaro. She started training at the Performance Center recently. WWE.com reporting that she worked out at the Performance Center last January and has now officially reported to NXT. The 28-year-old Catanzaro has a gymnastics background and was the first woman to complete the qualifying and city courses on NBC's American Ninja Warrior television series. She retired from the show last season. And just looking at some of that stuff, you've got to be athletic to be able to do that. So the transition to wrestling should be a fairly smooth one. But we'll see. Time will tell. And also, Well, this I thought was kind of interesting. Impact Wrestling announced on Tuesday the launch of a new channel on Twitch.tv, not to be confused with my co-host here, but Twitch.tv, the world's leading social video service, and I know a place I go to for a lot of speed-running video game things, and I even have a channel on there, although I'm not technologically apt for streaming myself yet, but you can check me out there as Fearon Burgundy. Probably be doing some Dragon Warrior randomizer commentary and things of that nature coming up. Shameless plug. The Impact Wrestling channel on Twitch will feature exclusive content, including monthly live events and house shows featuring top stars in professional wrestling. And the channel will also feature lifestyle programming showcasing Impact Wrestling stars outside of the ring, from diets and workouts to relationships and travel. And they'll also air Impact Wrestling's live event at WrestleCon in New Orleans, Louisiana on Friday, April 6th at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Other exclusive shows on the channel will include on Monday nights the Live Audio Wrestling, or The Law, returning with a weekly video podcast. Produced and hosted by longtime Impact Wrestling announcer Jeremy Borash. They'll cover all the latest news in professional wrestling and will feature guest interviews, live calls, chat interactions, contests and prizes, and other things of that nature. Also on Wednesdays, Impact Wrestling star Tyrus hosting Nuff Said, as he'll give his unique take on professional wrestling as a Fox News contributor and also talk about politics, sports, and pop culture. And on Thursdays at 8 Eastern, Josh Matthews hosting Matthews Megacast with his irreverent second screen perspective on the flagship show Impact, Thursdays on Pop. So interesting. Good to see a different forum of Twitch.tv. Also, a couple of other tidbits here. WWE legend Jim Ross speaking with KOCO-TV in Oklahoma on Thursday after a judge dismissed the charges against the 17-year-old driver of the car that struck and killed his wife Jan Ross back in March of last year. Ross telling the station that he was too upset to discuss the matter on the air, but he issued the statement, quote, "The system has failed us. Heartbreaking matters such as this make me wonder what our youth are being taught. It's time we need to pay attention. Sad, embarrassing. It makes it hard to continue loving my beloved Oklahoma," end quote. The station contacted Norman, Oklahoma judge Stephen Stice, who told them he could not comment on the matter because it was a juvenile case. Jan was struck from behind while driving her Vespa scooter on March 21st of last year. She died in the hospital 2 days later, and Ross noted on Thursday that the driver never even lost his driver's license. And in an interesting story that TMZ has brought out, the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, will not investigate WWE star Roman Reigns or actors Mark Wahlberg and Josh Duhamel, despite jailed steroid dealer Richard Rodriguez claiming that they were clients of his illegal steroids distribution ring. TMZ.com citing law enforcement sources as telling them that the agency does not target alleged buyers of illegal drugs. Reigns, meanwhile, issued a statement Wednesday evening to dispute the claims and went so far as to say he's never met the man, saying, quote, "I have never heard of Richard Rodriguez or Wellness Fitness Nutrition. I learned from the mistake I made nearly 2 years ago and paid the penalty for it." He's referencing the wellness policy violation. "Since then, I've passed 11 tests as part of WWE's independent drug testing program," end quote. Wahlberg has also denied the allegations made by Rodriguez, and Rodriguez, as I said, is currently in prison after a judge ruled that he violated the terms of his bail. And finally, WWE announcing the first entrant in the 2018 Hall of Fame, none other than Goldberg. Yes, the former Atlanta Falcon and one of the huge rising stars in sports entertainment history, making his debut in September of '97 and holding numerous titles over his career, and recently coming back in late 2016 for a few matches and even capturing the Universal Championship. That being said, I've got about a minute. Time for birthdays. On this date in 3 plus 2 Brucey bonuses. On this date in 1952, Stanley Bert Eisen was born. The singer and songwriter, best known as the rhythm guitarist and singer Paul Stanley from the rock band Kiss, turned 66 today. Kiss infamously performed on Monday Nitro in August of 1999. On this date in 1978, Joy Giovanni was born, the former and only WWE Rookie Diva of the Year from the SmackDown No Way Out pay-per-view in 2005, turns 40 today. And in this date in 1980, Chad Allegra, better known as former WWE Tag Team Champion Carl Anderson, turns 38 today. And on this date in 1929, Arthur Stanton Eric Johnson was born. The comic actor best known for his work on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, including the very interesting German Soldier. He turns 89 today. And on this date in 1985, Nick Foles, the Pro Bowl quarterback who will hopefully be leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl tomorrow, he turns 29 today. That's it for me. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Celebrating 60 years of broadcasting excellence, we're